Hi, my name's Lindsay. I'm a part-time reseller and stay-at-home mom, and these are the items I sold March 15th through the 21st. Disclaimer, I don't know why my sales went crazy. I sold 31 items. If you stick around to the end of this video, I'll let you know what my cost of goods were, my total sales, and my net sales prior to taxes. I had 10 Posh sales, 17 eBay sales, 1 Mercari, 1 Facebook Marketplace, and 2 Depop. I cannot tell you the last time I sold something on every single platform. It's rare. Let's get started. Up first, over on Poshmark, we had these Vans old school shoes. Cost of goods was $147. They sold in 3 days for full price at $25. I netted $18.53. This rash guard Cupshe bathing suit, cost of goods was $106. Sent an offer, they accepted, sold for $24. I netted $16.64. These Old Navy pixie pants sold in 46 days. Cost of goods was $106. They sold for $12. I accepted an offer. I netted $7.99. This golf embroidered short all set sold in 46 days, 43 days. Cost of goods was $0. I'm pretty sure this was my son's. I don't remember him wearing it. Who knows if he did or not. I'd sold for $15. I netted $12. These puppets sold. I accepted an offer for $18. They were from when I was a teacher. I've just had them in my teaching stuff, and then my kids had them to play with, and then now we're moving on. So I netted $14.40. These sun sand sandals sold in 20 days. Cost of goods was $6.35. I accepted an offer for $20. I netted $9.65. These Democracy jeans, cost of goods was $105. I accepted an offer for $22. I netted $16.55. These Under Armour shorts sold. Cost of goods was $105. I accepted an offer for $15. I netted $10.95. These Vineyard Vines shorts sold in 2 days. Cost of goods was $4.24. I accepted an offer for $25. I netted $15.76. And last on Posh were these Betsy Johnson shoes. Cost of goods was $106. They sold in 20 days. I netted $22. No, they sold for $22. I netted $16.54. Over on Depop, this unbranded scarf sold. It was like whimsy goth, witchy core. Cost of goods was $106. I accepted an offer for $15. I netted $12.76. This plus size Madewell top also sold in 17 days over on Depop. Cost of goods was $105. I accepted an offer for $21. I netted $18.57. This was a repeat buyer. She bought a slip dress from me like last month or the month before that, and came back and bought the other one that I had. So cost of goods was 64 cents. It sold for $20.69 for full price minus 10%. I netted $16.81. This Eileen Fisher cardigan sold. Cost of goods was $4.19. I've had it forever. It sold for $22.49, which was full price minus the 10%. I netted $16.02. I accepted an offer on this Johnny Was top. Cost of goods was $6.61. I sold it for $69. I netted $52.38. This Nat Nast sweater sold. Cost of goods was $153. It sold for $26.99 for full price minus the 10%. There was an ad fee of $101. I netted $20.25. This is a vintage fresh produce top. I have another one that I've got to list too. This cost of goods was $211. I sent an offer and they accepted for $21.37. There was an ad fee of 76 cents attached, and I netted $15.16. This Bay Leaf bathing suit was new with tags. It sold to an international buyer overseas. I don't remember where. Cost of goods was $106. It sold for $13.49 for full price minus the 10%. And I netted $10.53. This was an Andrea Jovine linen top. Cost of goods was $105. I accepted an offer for $20. I netted $15.17. This was my daughter's Douglas stuffed Bernese Mountain Dog bear. Cost of goods was $0 because it belonged to her. It sold for $27. There was an ad fee of 92 cents attached. I netted $23.23. This was a Free People top. It sold in 34 days. Cost of goods was $270. I accepted an offer for $30. There was an ad fee of $105. I netted $23.68. This was a vintage Focus wool blazer. Cost of goods was $0 because my mom's friend gave it to her. It sold for $21. I accepted an offer. I netted $18.91. This was a Children's Place outfit matching set. Cost of goods was $0. I'm pretty sure it belonged to my kids. It sold for $14. I accepted an offer. There was an ad fee of 52 cents. I netted $10.51. These American Eagle longboard shorts sold. Cost of goods was 105. They sold for $22.49, which was full price minus the 10%. I netted $17.92. These Rothy's were a good size in a retired print. They did not even have insoles. I accepted an offer for $60. Cost of goods was $9.71. I netted $41.41. These were Greg Norman pants. I could have held on to these and made more, but I accepted an offer for $12 because, again, I'm trying to get stuff out. They sold in 36 days. Cost of goods was $106. I made $8.18. These I had from my teaching days. They were never even opened. They're CD and books for multiplication, rap, and rock audio. They sold in 10 days. Cost of goods was $0 because they were mine for teaching. They sold for $22.49, which was full price minus the 10%. There was an ad fee of 68 cents attached, and I netted $16.81. This was my husband's. I accepted an offer for $11. Somebody offered me $3 last week, so I was like, well, I'll take 11 compared to 3, so whatever. Cost of goods was $0. I netted $8.52. These Allegria shoes were $6.35 cost of goods. They sold for $30. I accepted an offer. There was an ad fee of $110 attached. I netted $18.25. Over on Mercari, this Gildan hippie kind of like mushroom hoodie sold for $15. I accepted an offer. Cost of goods was $0 because my friend gave it to me to sell, and I netted $12.51. And last but not least, this was my Facebook Marketplace sale. It sold for full price at $20. It was a FootJoy polo, size extra, extra large. Cost of goods was $106. It did have an embroidered like thing on the sleeve. I don't remember what it was. And I netted $17.84. That brings this week's cost of goods to $58.55, which is double my normal. And my total sales were $847.61, and my net sales were $534.41. Have a great day. Bye.